Hey everyone! Wow, it seems like my camera isn't lined up with me. Okay, I guess that's a little bit better. Okay. So this is my follow-up video to my addiction videos, and this is the Addicts Survival Guide of the Holidays. I got so many messages in response to my addiction videos and a lot of questions. I'm going to try really hard to do this in one video in 10 minutes, but this is just kind of long. Excuse me. So I'm just going to start at the top. Try not to be too chatty. Okay, so question number 1. Please clarify what you mean by tools in your toolbox. Okay. Tools in your toolbox is a metaphor for life skills. It's the things that you need to know and know how to do to get what you want out of life. So if you want friends, you have to know how to make friends and maintain relationships. If you want to have what you need in life, you need to learn how to handle money and work a budget and live within your means and all of that. If you want an intimate relationship, then you have to have some relationship skills and interaction skills. So you have to be able to know how to get what you need and you want out of your life in a grown-up, healthy way. So there's a lot of skills that we need in order to function as adults in our culture and get what we want and have a happy, joyous, and free life. And those are the tools in your toolbox. And when you are in a family that has a lot of stress or some other issues that make it dysfunctional, and all families are dysfunctional. All families have some dysfunction. So, the Brady Bunch is a fantasy. They've always been a fantasy. They always will be a fantasy. So, nobody's a Brady, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong. Everybody's doing the best they can, and we have to remember that. But there's a scale. There are some families that are a little dysfunctional, and some families that are downright toxic. And wherever you fall on that scale is going to affect your toolbox, because you get sidetracked from learning healthy things and you go into survival mode. So let me give you an example from my life. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a shrink. I can only share with you from my experience. When I was a kid, I couldn't ask for what I needed or wanted. And there were a lot of reasons, and I'm not placing blame, and part of it was me and part of it was them. So it doesn't really matter why. I just couldn't. So when I needed something, I either stole or lied or manipulated. So when I left home and I went out into the real world, lying, stealing, and manipulating, which worked very well growing up as a survival tool, needless to say, didn't work very well. So in order for me to give up lying, stealing, and manipulating to get what I wanted and needed, I had to learn new skills. I had to throw those tools away, the tools of lying, stealing, and manipulating, and replace them with tools that worked. Boundaries, honesty, learning how to express myself, learning how to identify it, feeling that I had a right to what I needed and wanted, that those were just as important as everybody else's needs and wants, and that's a huge part of it. I had to learn new tools so that I could get what I wanted out of life in a healthy, happy way that did not alienate other people. Because some of our tools actually can become counterproductive and alienate people from us and stress relationships and end relationships. And so we end up becoming our own worst enemy. And anyway, so that's what I mean by tools in my toolbox, life skills. And you know what? Nobody has a full, complete toolbox. This is a lifelong process. But it starts with taking an inventory of what you've got and where you need to start from. And as you go through life, you'll find that you'll upgrade tools, trade other tools in, get new ones for new situations. Your toolbox is never perfect and it's never completely filled. It's a lifelong process. So you have to embrace the process and love yourself. And just know that here's the good news. The good news is that you are responsible for your life. The bad news is that you are responsible for your life. Okay? So you have to kind of think about that. But you have the power to change whatever in your life needs to be changed. You have that power within you. It's just a matter of embracing it and loving yourself and starting on the path. Okay, next question. Why tell the truth? What does that have to do with being a food addict? Well, the problem with addicts is that we tend to give our power away. We give our power away to drugs, we give our power away to alcohol, we give our power away to food, we give our power away to other people, and we give things outside of ourselves too much power, to the point where it's more that these outside things are running our lives more than we are. Telling the truth is the foundation for self-awareness, finding out where you're at, what you feel, what you want, what you need, and then speaking out. Because a lot of times we don't speak out. We stuff. We hold these feelings inside. We don't say something when someone offends us, or we don't say something when something doesn't work for us, or we don't set a boundary when we're being taken advantage of or somebody's pushing us a little too far. We hold it inside. And the problem with that is that it eats at you from the inside. And it becomes uncomfortable. Your life becomes uncomfortable because you have all this bottled up anger, stress, tension, resentment, sadness, and it all comes out in irrational anger episodes, depression, and the practicing of addictions. I mean, addiction is all about avoiding feelings and avoiding situations that overwhelm us. And so it's much easier at times to drink or smoke or toke or eat or spend than it is to confront someone who has upset us. And so that's the cycle that we get into with addiction. We avoid these uncomfortable situations by using something outside of ourselves to run and hide from it. Telling the truth breaks that cycle. And this brings me to the family dynamic questions. How do I avoid eating with a crazy family? Whoa, that's a big one. Okay. We got another one here too. I got family members that whenever I get around them make me feel bad or make me really angry because of the way they treat me or talk to me. Okay. If Aunt Gertrude has been calling you fatso since you were 2-year-old and that pisses you off and offends you on a regular basis, and you're going to go spend Thanksgiving with Aunt Gertrude, and I'm making up all these names, then you have to be ready to deal with that. And there's several things that you can do. First of all, you have to remember that if Aunt Gertrude has been calling you fatso since you were 2-year-old, people probably thought it was cute back then. And chances are, look at it from Aunt Gertrude's perspective. See, I knew I wasn't going to get this all in one video. I'm sorry. Stay tuned.